Had no need to fight tonight.
The 2022 season previews continue today with the Nashville Predators. Ah, yes, the good old Nashville Predators. I don't talk about the Predators too much on this channel because there's 32 teams and it's very hard to balance them out. So, we had some conversations with Nashville last year. We made a couple videos during the regular season. We made a few videos during the playoffs. And they're a team that I personally am kind of half and half with. I like half of their team. I hate the other half. It really just depends on how young you are and how good you are, to be honest. If you're bad, I don't like you and I want you gone out of this roster. If you're good, I really like you and I hope you really do succeed with this Predators team. And there is a lot of questions of what direction the Predators are going. Are they going towards a rebuild or can they still make the playoffs? That's a question we're going to ask ourselves today. We're also going to look at their key departures, their key arrivals, their projected lineup, and some more stuff. So first off, you're new to the channel and you haven't already subscribed or you're a Nashville Predators fan, please make sure to do that. We don't make too many videos regarding Nashville here, but I would definitely make sure to make some during the regular season this coming year. I'm going to try and stay consistent the whole way through. So far, it's been working out really well, but then again, we're only 2 weeks into school for me. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I really like how this channel is developing as of late, and I'm going to keep doing it. So anyways, I won't waste any more of your time, and let's get into the preview. So last season for the Nashville Predators, actually, well, it was bad, very bad at the first half, but then it got good. They went 31-23-2 for 64 points. They finished 13th in the NHL. I remember I made a video in February of 2021. And I was talking about just everything because David Poile, I'm pretty sure he's the Preds GM. If not, I'm sorry. I can't think right now. I just took a nap. But I'm pretty sure Poile's the GM. And by then, they were really freaking bad. They were not doing good. They were towards the bottom of the Central. Or is it the Central? I think it's the Central. They were just god-awful. And I made a video on them discussing, well, could this be the end of this Predators core? Could they just decide to blow it all up right now? And they kind of did. They kind of didn't, depending on how you look at it. But, And then I discussed, because, Poile was like, oh, we have, 3 guys that are untouchables. I think it was Ryan Ellis, Roman Josi, and Pecorine, if I'm not mistaken. I think even Saros was one of those guys that was left unprotected. Not Saros, Rene. And Rene, fun fact, just retired. So they had him in a protection spot. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I discussed that, and immediately right after, the guys who stepped up were Jose Saros. He's the main person. He literally carried them to the playoffs and stole 2 games from the Hurricanes. Because if they didn't win those 2 games, it's a sweep. No doubt in my mind. And it's not just a sweep, it's a dominant sweep as well. And I mean, sure, both games that Nashville won were in overtime, but 2 out of the 4 Carolina Hurricanes games they won were also in overtime. So anything really could have happened, to be honest. But Jose Saros rose up, Luke Kunin rised up, Eli Tolvanen rised up. A lot of guys on this core and the young guys that were just really not clicking, they finally got good. And Tolvanen, that was the thing. I was saying in the 2021 season preview that this was probably Tolvanen's last shot. He's gotten a lot of attempts with Nashville, and maybe if it doesn't work out, then they were going to move him out at the end of this season. But obviously they're not going to because they signed him to a good extension. So, of course, as I said, they lost to the Carolina Hurricanes in 6 games. It was kind of a back-and-forth series. Carolina won 2 games, Nashville won 2 games, and then Carolina won 2 games and obviously ended everything. So I'm not going to say that it was terrible for Nashville, but they were up against something really big in the Hurricanes. So I don't really blame them entirely, but with everything they did this offseason, I am starting to question if they're actually rebuilding or they're trying to get younger without rebuilding. So in the key departures realm for the Nashville Predators, you have a couple guys here. First off, they lost Cale Yarncrook to the Seattle Kraken, which somebody that I forget their name because that's how irrelevant they are. Just kidding. Announced his name. I can't remember who it is. that was too long ago. They also lost to my Philadelphia Flyers, Ryan Ellis. And Ellis is interesting because he was a top pairing defenseman in Nashville. And it's weird that the Preds are kind of just dissolving the old D-core. Like, the old D-core was insane. Like, if all those guys were in their prime, that's the best D-core in the NHL. You had Roman Josi, PK Subban, Matthias Ekholm, and Ryan Ellis as your top four. Like, that's crazy. And now two of those guys are already on the way out. One of them with the Devils, the other's with the Flyers, of course. But you know what happens. They also lost, arguably, their best player in their entire franchise's history, Pekka Rinne. And I'm saying that includes skaters. To be honest, I can't remember a player that was really dominant with the Predators as Pekka Rinne was. Rinne was crazy in net. And it really sucks that they couldn't get him a cup. But, some players are just meant to retire without one. And it's unfortunate, but, you have players that do that. We have really good players that have done that. They also lost Brad Richardson. It's funny because he scored the goal against them to make the Coyotes go into the playoffs, and then they signed him. Of course, he was shipped off to Calgary. He actually signed with them a couple days ago. They also lost Eric Haula. He's off in Boston now. Haula, that really was just a death move and never really worked out with the Preds. It did at times. I remember a game against the Hurricanes. He kind of scored like 2 goals and just, robbed them of their first loss in the last regular season game before they played the Preds in the playoffs, I think. Haula's obviously off in Boston now, which we'll get into them later. And they also lost Victor Arvidsson to the Los Angeles Kings on a trade. And that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, acquiring Victor Arvidsson for the Kings, it's great, but for the Predators, like, I'm questioning if that means, are they rebuilding or are they just gonna try and get younger that way? And I'm really questioning it. Like, they're trying. It's so weird. And then, like, I don't even know. Like, they lost like a lot of guys in their core, and it's really gonna be interesting, what this team does with this next season, obviously. So in your key arrivals list for your Nashville Predators, you have about 4 guys here, and to be honest, there's 3 of them that I like. The other one I'm kind of a little bit on. They got Cody Glass from the 3-way trade in the Ryan Ellis deal, which is so confusing. I wish so bad that I was not camping while all those deals were unfolding because I would have gotten so much views for all those. Yeah, I care about views. I mean, I don't entirely, but you know what I mean. I really wish I wasn't camping. Cody Glass, obviously a young forward. I think he's going to be pretty solid. I think Nashville, honestly, probably benefited the most out of that 3-way deal than any of the teams. You could argue Philadelphia, but I actually think Nashville did. They also acquired Matt Luff, some solid depth to replace the guys that left this offseason. They also acquired from my Philadelphia Flyers, Philip Myers. And I love Myers. I have a Myers rookie card of him. Myers, I still think he can become a very solid top 4 defenseman in the NHL. I just don't know if it was really going to work out in Philadelphia, per se. I look at Philly and I look at their core right now, and I say, I don't know if there's room for him in that roster. And that really sucks. But I really do think that, with a Predators defense that's aging, and obviously a lot of the guys that used to be on it are gone, I think Philip Myers will definitely get a shot, and I think he'll definitely play well and at least bounce back a little bit this coming season. Then they acquired from the Toronto Maple Leafs through free agency goaltender David Riddick. Good backup role for Jose Saros, but I don't know. Riddick, my thing is with him is like he really hasn't been good since probably 18-19. He wasn't good 19-20. He was not good 20-21. I don't know where you want to go with that, so you can just take it what you will. But I think it's solid at least for a backup role. I mean, he's not going to play any of the games at all. Let's be honest. Like, Saros is going to carry the Predators. He should have won the Hart. Just saying. Jesus. The Preds. Moving along into the projected lineup for your Predators, you have on the top 6, You have Philip Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, Mikael Granlund, Eli Tolvanen, Luke Kunin, and Colton Sissons. I guess I like that top six. I don't really know how I feel about that, to be honest. Forsberg, I like. He's a very solid forward still. He could get traded midway this season if the Preds decide to blow it up. And that's really the thing. Like, if they're bad right out of the gate, that could be where they actually pull the trigger and actually blow this up. I don't know where they go on this front, but I think Johansson's a solid center. Granlund, he's never going to be the guy he used to be with the Wild or earlier with the Preds, but I still think he's good as well. Tolvanen I've obviously really liked. He could be even playing first-line minutes at this rate because a lot of the bad contracts his team has. Luke Kunin as well. I like Luke Kunin. Anybody who plays with like a disease or has played through a disease, you have earned my respect automatically. So obviously there. Colton Sissons as well can be a solid top six forward. You may want to move Matt Duchene up to that right wing spot, but I put Duchene on the third line because I think he's just, I don't even get me started with him. Anyways, on the bottom six, you have, obviously, as I mentioned, Matt Duchene, Cody Glass, and Rocco Grimaldi. Then you have Yenot, Cousins, and Luff. Then you have Trennan, Oliver, and Harper as your fill-in guys. So it's all right. I like Cody Glass. He's solid. Grimaldi, I like. I don't know how I feel about that fourth line. I feel like the Preds are honestly kind of losing depth as we move along here, and it really does make me question, like, are they trying to get younger or are they trying to win now? Because with some of the moves they're making, they're trying to win now. Some of the moves they're making, they're trying to get younger. It's really questionable with me. So I really don't know how I feel about that bottom six. Generally, I don't even know how I feel about that whole forward core. I'm not really a big fan of it. As for the blue line, on the other hand, I do really like the blue line. Your first pairing will be Roman Josi and Dante Fabro. Then you have Matthias Ekholm and Philip Myers. Then you have Mark Borowiecki and Matt Benning. Then you have Harper. I don't know why I have Harper mentioned twice. What? As a fill-in guy there. I guess I have that wrong. But anyways, I'll take Harper out of the D pairings. But I really, really like those three pairings. Josi and Fabro, I think, are two very solid defensemen. Josi is underrated at this point. Nobody really talks about Josi anymore because, Dougie Hamilton rose up, Hedman rose up, Makar, Fox. You got a lot of guys that rose up above Roman Josi where he's kind of just been left in the dust. But I still think he is an underrated top 10 defenseman in the NHL, to be honest. And even I have underrated him at times as well. As for that second pairing, Ekholm and Myers, as I said, I think Myers is going to get a lot of chances to bounce back this coming season. I think he will, playing with a guy like Matthias Ekholm. And then obviously you have Mark Borowiecki and Matt Benning, which is a very veteran-like pairing. It's not horrible. I don't hate it, but it's all right, I guess. So I don't have a problem with that defense. The goaltending, I don't have a problem with either. Jose Saros and David Riddick, I like both of those guys, obviously, personally. And, that's really it for this team. I don't like the forward core. I really don't. The line that I probably like the most is probably that second line, to be honest. I don't like the forward core, and I don't like where this team is trying to go. I feel like I look at the bad contracts, like the Granlund, the Johansson, the Duchene, and I say blow it up. Try and get those deals out. Maybe if you have to, trade out some high draft picks for them. Just try and get them out of there. I mean, Arizona's taking on contracts. I'm just saying, as a it's over here, biased Coyotes fan, I really would appreciate it if Nashville just wants to throw some picks at us, and we'll take your bad contracts. But anyways, I don't like that forward core. I like that defense a lot, and I also like the goaltending. So if they can work on the forward core, you got my respect, Nashville. And now on to our final question for the Nashville Predators. Do they make the playoffs? Either way, if they are trying to rebuild or they're trying to win now, I have them not making it. This division is just so competitive. You have the Jets, you have the Avalanche, you have the Stars, you have the Blackhawks, I guess. You have the Preds, you have the Blues. I'm missing a team. You have why can't I think? The Wild. I couldn't think for a second. You have the Wild, Kirill Kaprizov. Ever heard of him? And then, of course, you have my Arizona Coyotes, which you don't need to worry about. But we'll be stealing games from y'all. That I hope we turn into what the Detroit Red Wings were last year, where we were just stealing games from teams and helping them just not clinch. I hope we're that team this year. But to be honest, either way, I don't have them making the playoffs because I don't like the forward core. As I said, the defense is good. I don't have a problem with it. I like the goaltending. I just really don't like that forward core. So if they can improve that forward core, they'll have my respect. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Nashville Predators and anything else in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. For Ice Presley, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Adios.